Welcome in, guys. I'm really glad you're here because you've made a step. You've made a step towards making this real. And it's kind of weird when you make a step towards something because you've got your current situation, which we kind of just get up, go to work every day, accept what we're doing. But deep down, sometimes we're unhappy because we wish we're doing that other thing. And that comes back to play on your mind at night or at the weekend or whenever. And it's quite scary and exciting at the same time when you actually take some action to make a change. And a lot of people don't. That's like the really scary thing. Whatever their passion is, a lot of people just never do it. They always think that's for someone else, and they think, no, this is what I have to do. I have to be unhappy and get up every day and work at McDonald's. And actually, they don't. You don't. Anyone has that power to just make the change if they're prepared to put in the hard work. And sometimes we just need to have the vision, always that tunnel vision, and just know our goal. And I think sometimes if you can identify that goal and focus on that one goal, your chances of success are massively increased, massively. So a lot of what we're going to talk about in this free video course is mindset stuff. It really is. And I want to be totally open with you. This is completely free. And at the end, you need to make a decision. If you decide that drum teaching is for you, and if you've decided, yeah, I'm going to go for this, you can get further help. There is a membership which will really set you up, and there is a cost for it. Of course there's a cost there, but you get so much for it. It's kind of a mini investment because it actually helps you create a business which you could possibly make more money from than what you're doing now, and certainly you could do something you love. That's just total disclosure, because I know with these things you think, what's this free thing? But this is all it is. This is a totally free guide that's going to give you help, teach you a few things about what you need, but also help you make a decision. At the end of that, if you don't want to do it, then you go back to doing what you normally do. If you do want to do it, then you just go and do it. And if you want a bit of extra help, the help's available. So, I just want you to understand what this is all about. So, when we're thinking about making a change in our life, this is quite a scary thing. And we often focus on all of the reasons why we shouldn't do it. We focus on all of the things that could go wrong. Our brains are very good at that. They're good at saying, no, you're not good enough to do this, or you might not get enough students, or you might not get enough money. And we often manage to scare ourselves quite easily to the point that we think, no, I can't do this. I'm just going to go back to being unhappy and doing that other thing. And that can just be a dream. And this is for all of us, right? We all feel like this. And we just need that courage to step past it. There's great quotes about, everything you could ever want is just the other side of fear. If you could just get past that hurdle of fear, it's all there waiting for us. So, and drum teaching is kind of like that. So, there's some really, really awesome benefits for the right person, but we've got to get past all of those initial fears, those barriers our brain's putting away. So the first thing I want to talk about today, quick video really, but I just want to talk about some of those benefits. So we can focus on that and think, oh yeah, that's what I want. That sounds attractive to me. So let's see how I can go about doing it. So let's check out some of the benefits of running your own drum teaching business. You don't have to answer to a boss. I mean, I've been self-employed my whole life. I have done some roles as an employed person, especially when I was at music college and, I was doing jobs around just making money. But my adult life has pretty much been entirely self-employed. And that suits me. Some people like to be employed. They don't like to make decisions. And I get that. I can see it. Here's your job. Go and do your job. And at the end of the month, you get a paycheck. That suits some people, right? But it is so nice not to have a boss. There's such great perks because you don't have to answer to anyone. So you've got the power to go out there and earn more money if you want to work harder. If you want more students, go and do it. If you don't, you might say, do you know what? I'm earning enough money. In fact, I don't even need this much money. I'm going to get rid of a couple of students and have more free time. It's up to you. You might want to work only on certain days. You might want time off to go to a gig. You might want to go on holiday. You might have kids and you want to be able to do the school run and the school pickup so you don't schedule lessons then. And there's a million, having that freedom is amazing. Not having some nasty boss. Not all bosses are nasty, but you're not answering to anyone. This is one of the best perks about running your own business. All right, number two, I've already alluded to this really, but it's choosing your own hours. And this is a really, really big one. Having that freedom to work when you want and just work for that to suit you around your life. Pick the days, pick the hours, take time off when you need it. It just takes so much of the stress away. And it can just help with stuff like, you know, a little example, I had to take my wife to hospital the other day. She was fine, but we had to go and do it. It was after hours of the doctors, we had to go and get antibiotics. I've got a couple of young kids, had to look after them. It was really easy for me to do that. And this happens all the time. I've got some teaching at the weekend, and I just switched it because my daughter's got football. She's a complete tomboy, wanted to start a football club. I'm going to take her to football. I'm really excited about that because it's going to be so funny. But you know, I didn't have to answer to anyone. I just called a couple of students, said, "Guys, do you mind if we switch that 9 o'clock lesson to later in the day? I want to take my daughter to football." They went, "Yeah, fine." So you know, choosing your own hours to fit around whatever your life is a really, really nice perk. Earn what you want. That's attractive, right? Okay, but we've got to be realistic. Not many people get rich teaching drums. So if you're in here to become a millionaire from drum teaching, I mean, mate, you know, you could develop that later on into a drum school and start a big drum school later on. Why not? You know, dream big. But initially, we have to be realistic. But what is possible is you can earn a really good salary. Well, it's not even a salary, that's the thing as well. It's not a salary, but you can earn really, really good income. I mean, I supported a family primarily from drum teaching for some of that, and it's totally doable. It depends where you live in the world, but often the teaching rates are relative to the cost of living wherever you are. So we often think financially about earning more money. So if you want to earn lots more money, so when my son was born, I needed to earn more money. My wife gave up work, so I just got more students. I put a bit more effort into marketing, got more students, and then we could afford for her not to work. So, you know, I was doing a lot of teaching then, but I had that freedom. I didn't have to like beg the boss for a pay rise or go out and be a rent boy or whatever, you know. I definitely didn't do that. But, you know, you've got that freedom. But on the other side of it, sometimes we don't need to earn that much money and we actually value our free time. So you also have the power to do that. A lot of people are stuck in a 9-to-5 job, and those are the hours, that's how it works. But you might say, I only need to work for 3 hours a day, that's fine. That covers all my expenses, I've got enough money to live on, and then I can spend the rest of the day going to band, practice, playing drums, going to gigs, you know, pushing other parts of your career, or lying around in your pajamas, you know, whatever, it's up to you. So that is also another great aspect. Right, fourth one, I'm touching ground we've already covered, but I want to specifically say about this, and this is the taking time off when you want, because I speak to people a lot who are employed and they struggle. You know, it might be like, we're going away for the weekend, or I'm organising a stag do at the moment for my brother, which is going to be interesting, but it's I'm talking to all these people now, I can't get time off work, can't do this, can't do that. But when you're your own boss, you can take time off whenever you want, right? And I know we've already touched on this, but that freedom's awesome. But I also want to do the flip side. We can't just pretend this is all like rosy and everything's amazing. You do not get paid when you take a holiday, all right? So it's all very well saying, take time off when you want, go on holiday, teach only a couple of hours, but you only get paid when you work. So it's being realistic about this. You have the freedom, you have the power, but you've got to balance it, all right? So the freedom is awesome, but we need to earn enough money. So we're going to look at the good and the bad here. So that's kind of a perk, but with a little touch of reality as well. So you are playing drums or talking about drums all day long. That's pretty cool. If you're a drummer, I assume you're a drummer. If you're a drummer, I think you can appreciate that's awesome. And maybe if you do a job in a different industry, let's just take the McDonald's thing. Maybe if you're serving burgers all day, as you're doing that and you're in a hot kitchen and it's stressful, you might well be thinking, I wish I was at a drum kit. I wish I was playing drums. And as a drum teacher, you're around drums all day. When a student's not there between times, you're at the kit, you're just rocking out, you're playing. When the student's there, depending on your setup, you might be jamming along with them. You might be opening their eyes to your favourite music. You know, a lot of the music that I love now was introduced to me by drum teachers that I had, you know. Here's some Tower of Power, check out this David Garibaldi, funk drummer. I love Tower of Power now. That was one of my drum teachers, introduced me to that band. But that's been like that through my life. Or my dad, he's a bass player, so he introduced me to loads of stuff. But you know what I mean? It's like the power, or in a way, the privilege to be able to just influence people and open them to new stuff is awesome. So you're either talking about your favourite music, you're playing drums, or you're just rocking out and helping people learn awesome stuff. And that feeling is the best feeling when you see that spark, you see that thing you've kind of handed over to them, and you see them get the bug, and you know you've played a part in that. You end up with more practice time. You're around drums all the time, so it's easy to jump on the kit. You probably don't have to work so many hours because being a drum teacher is actually quite decently paid, so you might find you can work less hours than you did in your old job, earn the same money, and the result is you have more free time to play the drums. Also, it feeds into what you're doing, so the more you're playing, the better you're becoming, the more ideas you're getting, the more you're improving your technique, and you start thinking about what you're doing and how that could help your students. It all feeds in to make you a better drum teacher. So it's all good. It's part of your job. It's true, teaching helps you become a better drummer. So I said a minute ago that you have more time to practice and that helps you be a better teacher, but the act of teaching helps you improve more. You start analysing your own stuff more. You see things in your students, and then you notice ways you could do things better. Also, they'll ask you questions. There'll be stuff you haven't even thought about, and a young kid might ask you, and you think, "Whoa, that's blown my mind a bit. Let me think about that." And you start working new things out, finding better ways to do things. You'll also learn from them. Just because you're a better drummer than them, they've got a different perspective, so they might come up with some cool stuff. Don't be afraid if they do something. That's happened to me before, and I won't pretend that I've got all the answers. I'll be like, "That's amazing, you just taught me something," and then they feel really inspired. It's a beautiful thing. So it will help you become a better drummer. It's true, you choose who you spend time with. So if you had really annoying colleagues in your last job, people that you couldn't bear to be with, and every day you woke up and went, "Oh, I can't stand seeing them for another day," you don't have to anymore. I mean, you don't really know what a student will be like before they walk through the door, but if you really hate them, you can just make an excuse and not work with them anymore. You can do that. I've never had to do that. I mean, I've totally had people that wind me up and they're really annoying, but I think that's part of the challenge, that you can find ways to kind of mould them a bit, get them to chill out a bit. Especially sometimes it might be, a 13-year-old or whatever. They can sometimes go through a bit of a know-it-all phase, but you can kind of chill them out and get them just to relax a little bit and make it all okay. I kind of like those students because I see them as a challenge. I think, right, there's a bit of attitude here. Let's try and break that down, but in a constructive way. I don't want to kind of shout them down and go, "Listen, man, you're an idiot," but you can just kind of mould the lessons in such a way that you open them up to a new way of thinking, get them to relax and make it nice, so you're not stuck spending time in horrible situations with horrible people. Okay, so this is to do with finances. Obviously, every country has its own rules, but generally, if you're self-employed, there are certain benefits you can enjoy, and you can kind of work the system within the legal, the boundaries of what's legal, but you can work the system to work in your favour. So an obvious one is tax relief. If you go and buy things for the business, you don't have to pay tax, or you can claim tax back for those expenses. So that could be petrol, it could be clothes for, work clothes. And the best one, I mean, there's loads of stuff, but the best one is drum gear. Every bit of drum gear you buy is for your business. So you get tax relief. So in the UK, for example, it's kind of basic tax rate is 20%. So you get that 20% back. So it gives you a little bit more incentive to go out there and buy more gear. But there's a whole bunch of kind of little benefits we can work there. I mentioned earlier, for example, you don't get holiday pay when you're self-employed, or sick pay, but it kind of works itself out, and you can make it work in your favour if you're smart. We do talk about this in the membership. There's a whole load of kind of finance planning tools in there to help you really understand this. But just to let you know, this is something you might want to think about. There are some nice little benefits that mean you're better off, and you've got a good reason to go out and buy some more drums. This is an interesting one, but it's a really nice feeling to wake up and want to go to work because you're working on something you love for you. So you feel this passion. It's harder to find that passion when you're waking up to do something if you don't like what you do. and it's for a boss that you might not like. I know that's not everyone's situation, but you know, there's quite a lot of people that are in that situation. To feel motivated and passionate in the morning to go, right, I'm going to go and work for this idiot, and I'm going to spend my entire day making him more wealthy. That's hard to be excited about. But when when you know you're going to go out there and do something that you love, and you're going to have a positive impact on someone else's life, and you're making money for your own life, to make your life better, you wake up pretty excited about that, and that's a nice feeling. If you've never woken up excited before a day of work, it's pretty nice to do that. The last one I want to talk about today is just enjoying the buzz of seeing that progress in your student. It's the best thing about teaching. Of course, yeah, we need to earn money, you know, it's a job, it's a business, but you know, if I was super rich and I didn't need to earn any money at all, I would still teach. I would be quite selective with my students, but I would still teach because it's such a great feeling. If you're that way inclined, and I totally get not everybody is, and that's why this video course is here, to help you really think about it and to see if this does appeal to you. If you are that way inclined, that feeling is amazing. You know, when you see someone and they want to drum and they're a blank canvas, they know nothing, and then you take them and they become a great drummer, and you see the pride they've got, and you see the excitement and the passion and all the stuff that goes with that. They grow in confidence. Sometimes you hear they start doing better at school. You know, the positives are so huge, and that really is the best thing. And I just think, even if at the end of this you decide that drum teaching isn't your thing, I just think everyone should find whatever their thing is in life where they can have that feeling, that just complete feeling of like, yeah, I've done something awesome, I'm really proud of that, that's made me feel good. If you can get that, then you're kind of winning. Okay, so that's just listing some of the positives. There are others, but we need to stay focused. If you think, you know, if you're thinking, okay, I think this is something I want to do, we need to stay focused on all of those positives today, because there will be some hard times, have to be realistic, and we need to keep our eye, that tunnel vision, and go, that's my goal, that's my reason for doing this, and I'm going to make it work. And nothing can stop those thoughts. You know, this is really, really important. You need to know why you're doing it, and just know that you're going to succeed, and then you will succeed. Anyway, I hope that's good. I hope that helps you get some mindset stuff. Let all of that just percolate in your brain and process it, because the decision, you can't force it. You know, I think your decision will just kind of rise to the surface once you've absorbed everything we're going to discuss. Keep an eye on your inbox, because the next video is coming very soon. I'll see you then.